When disaster strikes, bugging in can often be the safest choice, but staying put can have its own risks if you're not prepared. Making even one small mistake can put you and your loved ones in a tough spot. So, how do you make sure your home truly becomes a haven? Today, we're covering 10 critical mistakes people make when bugging in and, most importantly, how to avoid them. Welcome to Prepper's Paradigm, your trusted source for practical prepping and disaster readiness advice. In today's video, we're taking an in-depth look at the crucial mistakes you need to avoid when bugging in. From overlooked security issues to sanitation gaps and medical preparedness, we'll walk through each common pitfall with real solutions that you can start implementing today. For many of us, bugging out may not be an option, whether it's due to family responsibilities, location, or simply because staying put is safer. But making your home a safe place to shelter in a crisis takes more than locking the doors and drawing the blinds. Before we get started, just a note. Due to an injury, I'm using a computer-generated voice in my videos, so I appreciate your understanding. Now, let's dive into the top 10 bugging in mistakes and what you can do to avoid each one. One of the most common and dangerous mistakes people make when bugging in is assuming their home security is already up to the task. In a true crisis, the usual level of security isn't likely enough. Doors, windows, and other entry points that you might consider safe on a typical day could easily become vulnerabilities if someone is determined to get inside. To ensure your home is secure, start with the basics. Reinforce entry doors with strong locks, and if possible, consider a door security bar or brace. For windows, you might add security film, which can make the glass more resistant to breaking. Consider how to make your home harder to access from outside. For example, planting thorny bushes beneath windows makes them harder to access without appearing as an obvious security measure. Beyond these entry points, think about creating hidden storage areas for any high-value items. This way, even if someone does manage to break in, they won't easily find supplies that are critical to your survival. Improving security doesn't have to be complicated, but it does take some planning. A few simple upgrades now could make a major difference if your home becomes your main line of defense in a crisis. Water is essential. We all know that. But one major mistake preppers make when bugging in is underestimating just how much they'll need. In a crisis, although food is important, you can go longer without food than you can without water. Ideally, you want to store at least 1 gallon per person per day, and that's just for drinking. Cooking, hygiene, and cleaning require more. A good starting point is storing water in containers that are easy to manage, like water bricks, which stack neatly and are designed for long-term storage. For larger households, consider barrels or larger water storage tanks, especially if you have space in a basement or garage. It's also smart to have a rainwater collection system, as well as multiple water purification options on hand. Filters, tablets, and boiling water can keep you covered if you need to tap into less than ideal water sources. By storing enough water and knowing how to make more safe to drink, you're taking a major step toward keeping your family hydrated and healthy during a bug-in scenario. One common oversight during a bug-in scenario is assuming the power grid will stay reliable. But in a crisis, whether it's a natural disaster or a large-scale event, power outages are almost guaranteed. Relying solely on the grid can leave you stranded without basic necessities like light, heat, or the ability to cook. To prepare, consider a few off-grid power options. Portable solar power stations are becoming more affordable and are an excellent alternative. They're quiet, don't need fuel, and can provide a good amount of power. Backup batteries and battery packs are another good option, especially if you're looking to keep smaller devices powered. If you live in a colder climate, think about heating too. Options like a wood stove or propane heater can be life-saving if temperatures drop, but make sure any indoor heating source is ventilated properly to avoid carbon monoxide buildup. By setting up a few backup systems, you won't have to rely solely on the grid and can maintain comfort and safety if the lights go out. Stockpiling food is one of the first steps in prepping, but a big mistake people make is letting those supplies sit unused for too long. Stored food can expire or lose its nutritional value over time, and in an emergency, you don't want to find out that half your supply has gone bad. A good practice is to regularly rotate your food supplies. Use a simple first in, first out system, meaning the items you stored first should be the first ones you use. Whilst it can be better value to buy in bulk, this tactic can mean that you buy a large amount with the same expiry date. Consider spreading out your purchases over time so all your food doesn't expire at once. Labeling items with dates and keeping an organized list can help you stay on top of it. This way, You're not just maintaining a stockpile, you're ensuring it's fresh and reliable. Incorporating your stored food into everyday meals is another great way to keep your rotation steady and make sure your family is accustomed to the types of food you'll have in a crisis. This strategy keeps your supplies fresh and prepares everyone to handle the changes in diet that might come in a true emergency. In a bugging scenario, it's easy to focus on food, water, and shelter while overlooking a critical element: sanitation. Without regular access to running water, waste and hygiene quickly become serious issues. Poor sanitation can lead to illness, which is the last thing you want when resources are limited. Prepare for sanitation needs by having a makeshift bathroom setup. The most basic could be a simple bucket with waste bags, or a better, longer-term off-grid option is a composting toilet. Stock up on supplies like trash bags, heavy-duty disinfectants, and plenty of hand sanitizer. You'll want to have enough to last for a prolonged period if necessary. Beyond waste disposal, maintaining personal hygiene is essential to prevent illness. Baby wipes, hand sanitizers, and basic soap go a long way. Planning for sanitation doesn't just keep you comfortable, it can actually protect your health, preventing the spread of bacteria and viruses when help might not be readily available. When bugging in, waste can build up, and waste disposal often gets overlooked. Without regular trash pickups, waste can quickly accumulate, creating hygiene risks and attracting pests, or even unwanted attention. This problem isn't just about comfort, it's about keeping your home safe and sanitary. To manage waste effectively, start by setting up a system for storing or disposing of garbage. Heavy-duty trash bags are a must, especially ones that seal tightly to contain odors. If you have outdoor space, you can designate a specific area for waste burial, but make sure it's far from any water sources to avoid contamination. Also, focus on minimizing waste from the start. Use reusable items where possible, and consider composting organic materials safely if you have the space. By planning for waste disposal, you'll maintain a cleaner environment that keeps disease at bay and helps you stay under the radar. One major mistake when bugging in is not having a solid health preparedness plan. In a crisis, medical facilities may be overwhelmed or inaccessible, so it's essential to have basic health supplies and knowledge to handle minor issues at home. Start by making sure you have an ample supply of any necessary medications. If anyone in your household relies on prescription medications, talk to your doctor or an online medical service about options for keeping a backup supply. Over-the-counter essentials like pain relievers, antihistamines, and cold medicine should also be stocked. Don't forget first aid supplies like bandages, antiseptics, and wound care items, which are vital for handling minor injuries. It's also worth learning a few basic medical skills. Knowing how to properly clean a wound, manage a sprain, or identify symptoms of common illnesses can be life-saving. Having a well-stocked and organized medical kit, along with the knowledge to use it, puts you in control of your family's health when outside help isn't available. Physical preparation is essential, but one common mistake is neglecting mental health needs during a bug-in situation. In a prolonged crisis, isolation, stress, and lack of routine can take a serious toll on mental well-being. Mental resilience is just as important as having food and water, helping you stay calm, focused, and adaptable when challenges arise. Start by establishing a daily routine. Small rituals like regular meal times, light exercises, or even scheduled quiet time can help maintain a sense of normalcy. Having activities to keep everyone engaged, like books, games, or simple hobbies, can also make a big difference, keeping boredom and stress at bay. For adults and teens, staying informed is important, but limit exposure to news if it's causing more stress. Reliable communication tools, like radios, allow you to stay updated without constant media exposure. By taking steps to support mental health, you're not only preserving morale, but also helping everyone stay more prepared to handle the demands of a bug-in situation. Pets are family members too, yet many people forget to plan for their needs when bugging in. In a crisis, your pets rely entirely on you, so neglecting their needs can lead to unnecessary stress for both them and you. Start by stocking up on pet food. Ideally, have at least a month's supply on hand, just like you would for your own food. Make sure it's stored properly to avoid spoilage. Don't forget any specific items your pet might need, like medications, supplements, or litter for cats. If your pet has special dietary needs, consider creating a homemade backup recipe that uses shelf-stable ingredients. You'll also want to plan for managing pet waste, especially if you're limited to indoor space. Having extra waste bags, litter, or absorbent pads can help you keep things clean and sanitary. Preparing for pets doesn't just keep them healthy and happy, it also helps you maintain a calm and manageable environment. One final mistake people often make is assuming a crisis will be short-lived. Sometimes, a bug-in situation can last far longer than expected, and if you're only prepared for a few days, you could face serious challenges down the line. Preparing for an extended duration means going beyond the basics. Increase your stores of food and water so that you're covered for at least several weeks, if not longer. Include a variety of foods to avoid food fatigue, which can make it hard to maintain energy and morale. Consider stocking entertainment options, like books, puzzles, or other hobbies that don't require power. These can help keep everyone engaged and mentally sharp during long periods indoors. Another consideration is how to keep your living space clean and comfortable. Stock up on cleaning supplies and personal hygiene items, and have a plan for fresh air circulation if you're in a tight space. By preparing for a long haul, you'll be ready for a situation that lasts weeks or even months without feeling trapped or depleted. Bugging in can be the safest option in many crisis situations, but only if you're prepared to avoid these common mistakes. By taking steps now to secure your home, ensure you have enough food, water, and medical supplies, and plan for sanitation and mental well-being, you're giving yourself and your loved ones the best chance to stay safe and comfortable. To make things easier, I've put together a bug-in list on Amazon with recommended supplies for each of these areas, linked in the description below. This list includes items for home security, water storage, sanitation, and more. Everything you need to build a solid bug-in strategy. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to Prepper's Paradigm for more practical prepping advice. And if you faced your own bug-in challenges or have additional tips, share them in the comments below. Your insights could make a real difference for others in our community. Thanks for watching Prepper's Paradigm. See you next time.